I had a hobby too. Mine happened to be guns and ballistics, and I studied guns and ballistics as much as I could, and I wrote an article about high velocity.
So out of all my years working at Weatherby, the last 5 have been some of the most exciting. Working with Adam, with him running the company.
And to think that I get the opportunity of carrying on my grandfather's legacy 75 years later here in Sheridan, Wyoming, I mean, it really is a dream come true.
Oh, I'm home. Thank God I'm home.
On Our Mark, the Weatherby Podcast.
All right, welcome back to On Our Mark, the Weatherby Podcast. We're going to do something a little different today. We usually don't do homework for the podcast, but we assigned some homework for this podcast because Tyler and I were recently on a trip. We were on our way to a waterfowl hunt up in Montana that ended up being great. And I don't even know how we got to where we were from like a conversation standpoint. But we got there, and we're like, you know what? We got to figure out, like, the perfect year. I was reminded of that movie with Owen Wilson and Jack Black where they try to find, every species of bird in one year. And we're like, we got to map out the perfect season, which never stops.
Yeah, because I think it was just we were talking about, man, like, we don't get to duck hunt enough kind of thing. I think that was where the conversation was going, and then we were just, like, doing the year in review where it's like you had been on a sheep hunt, you had been on an elk hunt. We were talking about all these hunts. It's like, what would be a perfect year for shotguns and rifles? Because you can darn near hunt. You can hunt every single month of the year.
Tyler loves this game also.
So
I do.
So we've got JD. JD, what do you do here?
Peak 44.
JD works for Peak 44. He's the one that makes the stocks awesome. The J-Rail, other cool Peak 44 products. He also hunts a lot. His dad was a fishing guide, is a fishing guide. He's still with us.
Actively.
Yeah.
He's actively. He's not dead.
Yeah, he's probably getting ready for a hunt right now.
Yeah.
They're hunting right now. Yeah.
Kyle, our international sales manager. Kyle, you've spent a lot of time hunting all over the place. You've been pretty lucky to do that.
Been real lucky on that, yeah.
Tyler, our marketing manager. You've done
said
some
he's an
stuff.
intern. He's actually not.
Oh, he's an intern?
Oh. Yeah. JD and I were on a recent trip, and I was like, man, I just can't wait to start getting paid to do this job. But
so, and I've been fortunate. I've been able to chase some stuff all over the place. So we're like, how do we hunt every year? And actually, sidebar, I was having a conversation 2 nights ago, Sunday night after church. We were having dinner with some friends, and a friend of mine, his wife looks, he's like, Luke, when does hunting season end? And I made sure my wife wasn't listening. I was like, it doesn't.
never.
It doesn't end. Anyway, we're here to discuss today how we can make it not end for all of us. And it's going to look a little different. So the homework was figure out a way to hunt something in every month and try to keep it somewhat budget appropriate. Like, this is a dream list. There's probably going to be some things on here like, oh, sure, you can pull that off every year. No. I actually tried to make mine pretty affordable.
Yeah, I kind of took the same approach.
I removed the stuff that's like pie in the sky. So.
Yeah. I took where you don't have to draw a tag. It would just be more of like commitment to getting like logistics somewhere. So I took because like an oryx would be sweet, but you got to draw that tag. So I did not include those tags.
I removed more of the big money items. So.
Big money items? All right. Let's just take this calendar year, right? So I don't know what you guys put on there. You don't know what I put on, but I'm gonna build a list as we go, and at the end we're gonna review that list. I'll put it up on the screen.
I like it. I did kind of A/B too.
Tyler's email said A/B.
I did do A/B, but you on the board we'll put your number one answer, final answer.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna have to cheat. I need notes.
I printed
Okay,
mine.
JD. January. What are you doing?
Coues deer, Old Mexico.
Oh, I can't remember how to spell Coues.
Isn't it?
It's
Coues?
It is. It just looks wrong.
Cows. That could be a podcast on its own. We won't
I don't
even get
want
into
to talk
that.
about it.
Okay, that sounds awesome.
It's like number one for me. I want to do the Old Mexico glassing a lot.
Yeah.
The thing that is hard is trade show season. We're gone January,
I
February.
just changed mine to that. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I think there's going to be a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I currently have Coues deer there, but part of me wanted to go California waterfowl and the rice. So that's going to be
Ooh.
my final answer in January. I've always wanted to do it, so I'm going to do that.
That's a really good answer.
It is good.
Yeah, because you're from that area. Isn't it pretty awesome?
I have
if you're-
family there, yeah.
I'm from the Midwest, and I've never gotten to experience California like that.
I've
pretty
heard
awesome.
I've heard it's great, and it's Pacific flyways to get
Yeah.
extra bird. That's awesome.
And the birds eat
And no
awesome.
limit on mallards.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to sit there and shoot under your. You can't shoot.
One
you know,
pintail still, though?
One pintail.
one
yeah.
pintail. What 2 canvas backs I think right now.
Yeah. So that's
yeah.
that's my final answer. I'll lock that in.
Kyle?
Arkansas and the timber.
Dude, that's what I had.
Oh, nice.
With the backup was Cali and the rice
Oh, really?
because I've got a month that bouncing stuff around.
we might see that answer later down.
That is what I
Maybe.
had, actually, is I specifically in January to go for the flooded timber.
Yeah, I mean I think it's
I
the
want to
best
make
time.
sure the birds have time to get there.
Yeah, because they don't seem to be getting down there in a hurry right now. So
But I'm a little. So it's kind of like backwards because in my mind, hunting season still starts like September 1st. Like that's kind of how I view it in
It's
my
fall,
head.
yeah.
It's fall. So starting in September 1st, I'm like, I'm chasing big game. And then I'm like, January, I'm going waterfowl.
Yeah.
But you're going for Coues.
It's like number one. We talked about this on a hunt recently. That, like, legitimately, that's one way up there for me anyway. Regardless of this.
Yeah,
Thing.
you're into the optics too. And
I
that's
love the
optics
glassing.
heavy hunt.
I do love glassing. Just more and more all the time too. It's
And it's like you're trying to find a giant within its own realm, right?
Yeah,
Because
they're a little bit
10 inches difference is a big difference, right?
Yeah.
So some 100-inch Coues deer versus a 115-inch Coues deer is like massively different.
Yeah.
okay. This is an audible. Do you have an idea of what this is going to cost?
I ruined this. I got invited on this hunt in Old Mexico a few years ago, and it was $3,000 for $2. And I was like, that sounds like it's going to be terrible because it's too cheap for it to go well. And they did awesome. Now it's like 7,500, and I was like, I blew it. So that was what I had in my head. I know it's probably $6,000, 6,500 would
Yeah,
be
and
more
there's
realistic.
some different options of some like semi-guided, help you get across the border type
Yeah.
fees, and then you get to hunt by yourself.
The other
kind of
option
thing,
is like
so.
Arizona and New Mexico have you got to draw the tags, but you could just get those tags.
You can draw the tag and then you can archery hunt, right? If you don't draw the rifle tag.
Yep.
Yeah.
For Arizona. I don't
Yeah.
know about New Mexico. That was my backup was mule deer, like Arizona, some of the later.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I think I'm gonna stick with for me, I like the flooded timber.
The way you're thinking about it though changes my whole list because of like what you said that it's fall, big game, and then we roll into it. We don't typically think about hunting season January 1.
Okay, let's do it where we're not gonna lock it in quite yet. We're gonna fill it out, and then I'll put it up on the screen, and then we'll select like
I'm gonna steal some stuff for sure because
the thing.
A little bit of
Arkansas
shuffling
thing.
going on.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, JD, February.
I did Aoudad.
Oh. Okay. Do you have a where? It'd be a Texas. Yeah.
Situation. Yeah.
We didn't talk about this one, but I also have Aoudad, Texas.
This is actually a good buddy of mine has been begging me to do this hunt, and I would love to do it, but it's real life or the trade show seasons. We're gonna be
I did this last year actually.
rub it in.
And you had Mouflon.
And Mouflon. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw all the cool pictures.
The
Yeah.
Mouflon, like
The Mouflon was
the
pretty
Mouflon
cool.
Euro.
What do you call
mount?
that? Your poor man's bighorn, or what?
It's
do you
like
Yeah,
call
that's a. It looks like a little baby bighorn sheep.
A mini bighorn.
I did a Euro of it.
Looks great.
Yeah.
That would be an also cool February one.
Yeah.
But these like range on pricing too, from anywhere from like a guy
Yeah.
to I think they're like $6,000 to $7,000 now, just
Yeah.
because they've been so popular. If you were to like to just book a guide or
Yeah.
something. So
Tyler, what you got?
I have Aoudad. I don't even have a second on this one.
No kidding.
I put TBD because I figured we'd talk about it. For
I
a second.
did hogs as my backup. Hopefully, do Texas, shoot an Aoudad, and then get to shoot
Yeah.
hogs.
Oh,
Yeah, that
Javelina.
makes a
I
lot.
had Javelina too.
Ooh,
That's
I'm
a good one.
including, and I know they're not a pig, but that's kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. You could, in the right spot, you could get into all of them.
And Javelina are one that like I usually am very heavy on if I'm not super excited about the meat that I don't care, but I want a full body javelina. I've always wanted one. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I think it would look cool.
Mine wasn't going to be a full body mount.
You do the Euro?
It was a 6.5 RPM. I did a Euro. It looks like a little bear. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, that's cool. It's like a bear wolf. Aoudad for Tyler. Kyle.
All right, so 2 options. If we're going to go affordable, we'll go to Oregon for the late season honker hunt. If we're not going super affordable, and I mean, you could do this for under $5,000, would be Mexico for ducks.
Mexico for ducks.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
That would be cool.
January to March is kind of like a sweet spot right there for them. So it's like, well, our waterfowl seasons all end in January pretty much. So it's like, well, what if I just hop down here and get another extra month? So
What kind of ducks would you be shooting on that? There's a Mexican black duck, right? Is that made up?
There's a Mexican black belly whistling duck.
there is that.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yep.
Of.
Yeah, they've got a whole bunch of stuff, but they've got a lot of pintails, redheads, all that kind of stuff too.
Same flyway as the
Yeah.
West Coast.
Just depending where you go. Yeah.
Cool.
So what are you putting down here?
I'd go, because I have hunted the Oregon late season so much, I would go Mexico.
Okay. I went a different route. I'm staying home. I'm going on a mountain lion hunt.
Oh,
That is one. How did I not think of mountain lion
That
at
did
all?
not even cross my mind.
I-
and that is amazing.
This is when we circle back. I'm changing it. That's for sure. At least my. I want to do that first. Yeah.
That's a good one.
We talk about we live in a very cool place, and it's hard to leave here when there's things to
Yeah.
do here. Well, mountain lion, we can't do it in July, so that
Yeah,
would
so if people don't know, snowy months are typically the best times to chase cats because they're just like super reclusive creatures. It's
How
very
late does
hard
it
to
go,
find
though?
them.
Does it go to like March? I don't know.
Yeah, it goes away. So there's a quota to worry about, but it's
Female
I
quota, right?
double checked. Yeah, I double checked. It's definitely open still, and there's some units where they haven't touched the quota.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not far from here, that could get on. So you wait for a fresh snow. I'm gonna stay home, and then
Get
Yeah.
that phone call.
get that phone call. Let's roll, run the hounds.
I like that.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
March.
Mountain goat. They have the late mountain goat hunt in Alaska, and I really
Changing mine.
I've seen a couple of videos of folks that did it, and it just looks.
They're just super floofy at that time.
Yeah,
too.
they're all haired up. It looks like awesome country. It's going to be a real physical, cool hunt. So
What are you doing, Tyler?
I'm going Osceola Turkey, Florida.
Is that how you
Opens
say that?
March. Osceola? Osceola.
I say Osceola, but
Yeah, I
I
think
mean, I'm not.
I think
I'm
it's
not.
Osceola.
I'm not from there. I don't know.
I'm relying on you bird guys. Like I've said Osceola. Am I been saying it wrong?
Did I say Osceola?
Mhm.
I think it's Osceola.
I think it's Osceola.
You just said it wrong for
I just have the
funsies?
long O's.
Put the emphasis in the wrong spot. That's a good. I'm curious to see if you have other turkeys on that list.
You just wait.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that would be a cool one. I've
I-
never shot one of those, and it's the early season to like kick off to like spring.
I think Kyle and I are going to be double dipping again. I just have a feeling.
Chasing snow geese.
That's what I'm doing too.
Yep.
Where?
That was my backup.
That's a good one.
Depends, obviously, on the time, or basically on what kind of year we have. If we get an early warm up, obviously you're just going straight to the Dakotas. Otherwise, heading south and just chasing north. I mean,
I put Arkansas because I've tried to plan slightly later, like April snow goose hunts, several years in a row.
Yeah.
And the weather was super unpredictable. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just hit them early March where they start the migration in Arkansas. That seems to be like the most reliable thing.
yeah, it's, well, and like I've got buddies in Nebraska, but they pound them in February usually. A little bit of March, but mostly February. So, I don't know. I'm leaning Dakota's late March.
Okay. I'm gonna put you for Dakotas. All right. So
You get to take the plugs out.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like just let them have it.
Yeah.
You're going
That's
to go
a good one.
down and shoot one bird, and we're just going to like be stacking them up.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll just on my way drive back from Florida. I'll just come hunt with you two.
not. Well, you're driving to Florida wow, for a turkey?
Gear intensive. No, I'm just
It's a high yield situation.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, April.
This was kind of my pie in the sky, but I was also doing the bucket list type situation.
Okay.
So red stag, and I think that's when they
For the roar.
for the roar. That was like the thing. If I'm going to do it bucket list, then I would like to do that. And fallow.
So you're going to go hang out with the Kiwis for that?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna
New
say, where do you-
Zealand is the only place I want to go, like internationally. Really, I guess Mexico counts, but
So I did some research. April is a good time for that, though.
it said the roar. I
The
don't know.
roar.
Yeah, because Australia, like the roar for fallow deer is April, May.
And those two I like.
Oh, wait, so
stag
you're-
and fallow.
Wait, are you? Is this New Zealand or okay?
And you
I've
can
got
do
that a
New
little
Zealand
later.
DIY. So I was trying to do like I want to do that one, and it's somewhat obtainable if I do it DIY. So
That'd be pretty fun DIY.
I want.
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I have that later. We'll wait though.
Don't ruin it.
Okay.
Okay, what are you doing?
Okay, I have kind of two here. Any turkey hunt in the Midwest, April. I mean, it's good. Like I have like Kentucky, Nebraska, Missouri. Like I'm always gonna hunt one of those species. Like I'm gonna hunt easterns at some point. But Idaho spring bear intrigues me too. It's that toss up. Where is it too early? The last
That's too
half.
early.
Yeah.
That's
So-
too early. I think.
There are like little parts. So that's why I leaned heavy. I'm gonna go just Midwest turkey on this one as well. I like chasing gobbles.
I've got Midwest turkey too, so.
You do.
Yep.
Well, we got some similarities here then, except mine's not Midwest. I'm doing a turkey tour,
Oh.
not of the
Okay.
Midwest. So I'm gonna hit the Four Corners, but not the Southwest Four Corners. I'm gonna hit South Dakota, Montana,
Yeah.
North Dakota, Wyoming, and if you tag on, I didn't add up all the birds that you could potentially get, like in
be
like
a lot, though.
in like 2 weeks, you could get a lot of turkeys
I know
if
some folks
if you
that do
played
that.
your cards right to like some of the reservations that you could hunt on.
That's what for the North Dakota tag as a non-resident, you have to get that reservation tag.
Yeah,
Pretty
But
easy to get
sometimes
into
there's-
double digits.
It'd be easy to get to double digits. That's right. So that's
If I could revise to turkey tour instead of just Midwest turkey, I'm going Midwest turkey tour then.
I was like, oh, Missouri. I was like, maybe Mississippi, but it's like all like private. So it's like, unless you're going to pay somebody, you're not really hunting Mississippi. So it's like, and I haven't shot an Eastern. So
I'm down for saying turkey tour.
turkey tours-
Somewhere in the
yeah.
country.
okay. I mean, we're all thinking similarly. I like JD swinging for the fence though.
That was cool. I
I think that might be the winner, but who knows? That's a bucket list.
It's a
You
Big
could
time.
do the turkey thing annually. Like that would be a fairly inexpensive. You're gonna spend more in gas,
Yeah.
than pretty much anything if you camp and it's comfortable that time of year.
Yeah.
May, what you got, JD?
black bears, both first and second, just different places. I really like Montana for spring bear, but we have awesome spring bear here, but we also deal with the sow quotas. So, and I'm thinking of them as different. We can bait here, so that as being an option. Kids are getting old enough as be able to tag along. So I
Yeah.
was thinking bring
It's a
them,
fun one.
do the bait here, do Montana for spot and stock, and get to hunt two different bears.
We're on the same lines, but mine's a little different.
I have the same answer, but I have Idaho, Montana, then Wyoming.
You don't like our state.
No, I like it. It's just I was on a good bear last year. The quota closed. That
Oh.
hurts.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. That does hurt a little
It
bit.
does. What you got?
Nebraska turkeys.
Nebraska turkeys. I could probably work Nebraska into the turkey tour, like that northwest corner.
Yeah.
Do a 5-stater.
Turkey tour is getting bigger.
I mean, it's a tour.
It is.
You know, musicians do it all the time. Like, hey, we just added Denver.
That's pretty good.
You're gonna want to come see us. I think that
It's
Nebraska's.
It's affordable. It's easy to do. Like,
I was about to almost gave away like a really good spot. I'm not gonna say it.
yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
in
you got
my
You
head-
could go here. I'm like,
Tyler said earlier, you don't need to be like disclosing spots.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying anything.
Here are my Onyx pins. Link in the description.
So I also had a bear tour. So the Wyoming, Idaho, Montana. If you play your cards right, you can get 2 in Idaho.
There's yeah.
yeah.
You could get a bear in
Some really good
Montana
two-bear
on the way
in,
back, and then
If it's
Hunt
early
here.
May, don't go where JD and I went last year.
Right. So we're kind of all on the same page except for Kyle chasing birds, but that's okay. June. It's getting more challenging.
This is another double axis for me. Hawaii first, then Texas.
Oh man, I forget about Hawaii.
My grandpa lives there, so that's the other reason I really want to do it.
That's
I
a
like
good
it.
one.
Anytime you can 2-for-1 combo, bring fam, make wife happy, and
Hey
also
babe,
hey, do you want to go
you
to
want to
Hawaii?
stay at the Four Seasons?
I made the trip longer because I'm gonna hunt for a couple days.
Okay.
Deal.
Awesome. We're going to Hawaii.
Sorry, they were booked up. We have to go to Texas. Do you still want to come?
Right.
Yeah. I have the New Zealand trip for this month because it was hard for me to fill. So I did New Zealand DIY, did a little research, found some flights for $1,700. Get a buddy, split the rental car. Got some hot tips on some just walk-in access things, but it would also be cool to do the helicopter thing because I've heard those are pretty affordable if split between people
Yeah.
to get dropped off.
I've
in
heard
the
that
helicopter.
also.
So I'm going to do, for me, it would be Tahr and Chamois, and then Stag kind of lower. Because usually a lot of the Stag is
The high
more-
fence stuff?
Yeah, high
Yeah.
fence or just estate stuff. So Tahr, Chamois, those are the two on the
Somebody's
list.
gonna call us out on they know red stag, public land, and we're dumb.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
Oh, well,
It will happen.
I've never claimed to be smart, so that's fine.
And I could use some tips on
Yeah.
if I should change my months, because I do have this month based on a quick Google search of when to go.
That'd be on our mark at weatherby.com.
Yeah. Send us an email if you know more than me on this.
Drop a few pins too on Onyx for me if you would.
Yes.
Kyle, where are you going?
I am going back to Canada to chase snows for the last 10 days of their season up there.
You are going to kill some geese.
Yeah, I am going to go kill some geese. So,
I like
but
it.
I got to put the plug
So
back in.
How far north in Canada? Like, that's basically hitting them
I'm
like
gonna go-
almost to the roost.
I'm going to go to the edge of the boreal forest, so basically to the edge of the bush.
That's rad.
Yeah,
That'd be
they'll
pretty
sit
cool.
there and they'll stage and they'll feed super heavy right there. Usually, like the last 2 weeks of May is the best, but
Yeah.
weather is just going to depend.
Right on.
Was Brad? Quick question. Was Brad Finson telling us that last stop there is what they use for most of their reserves when nesting?
I think so. Like
Yeah.
they feed
So they're
super
like-
heavy there, and then they push hard, and then they start nesting like
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to Africa.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
I wrote off Africa until I'm an old man.
I'm
That
I'm
was
getting
Adam's advice,
more and
actually.
more intrigued by it.
Do you have a
I used to
species or
not be.
What country?
I don't know. I thought about it a fair amount, but here's what I would do. Okay, we go to a lot of these fundraising auctions and banquets, and every time I've kicked myself for not bidding on an African hunt.
They
that
like
has,
forget. It's like it's the beginning.
it'll be like
of
the
banquet.
first one. That
And you're
one,
not
at,
ready
that
to-
one at Sheep Show last year.
It
I'm
happens.
still mad about it.
Whoever
So
that guy is who got it, I don't like you.
So I'm gonna play a game where like I would get it in an auction where it like comes with 4 animals or something, and just kind of go from there.
That's a good idea.
Well,
I say DSC had an awesome Argentina stag hunt that went for way too cheap, and
buddy of mine won at a Ducks Unlimited banquet in Montana, a South Africa 4-animal for 2 hunters for $500.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like on par with what
Yeah.
this was, like a 4 hunter, 4 animal, and it was like $3,000.
That's
or
the
something.
other thing people screw up. You'll miss the fine print that it's like 4 to 6 spots. So
Yeah.
people see 5,000 or whatever, and they'll immediately write it off. And then it's like, no, if you brought 5 dudes, it's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was the thing with
And then I'm
Josh's.
gonna charge my buddies,
Yeah,
because
hey,
I bought this
it was
hunt.
$17,000, guys.
Well, and then you can add on animals when you get there too.
Yeah,
That's what my buddy did. He just stacked on animals because he got such a good deal on it.
right.
is
So-
there a species that does intrigue you? Like super hard? Like is it a kudu?
Kudu's, Sable.
Sable would be cool.
Yeah.
This one's intriguing, like a zebra. I think is fascinating, but not like your regular one. I want like an inverted zebra that's like the the white with black stripes instead of black with white stripes. I don't know.
That's a debate.
Well,
Yeah.
exactly.
I like it.
July.
This is another pie in the sky. I did New Zealand again. Tahr chamois this time.
How many flights to New Zealand are you getting on?
I'd put like a small disclaimer that I won the lottery before we
So that,
I was gonna
that
say,
makes
affordable,
sense
this is going
on
up.
Stag going earlier.
see where
See.
what I did there.
We could just switch months and we could go together.
That's fine.
Yeah.
My backup was Dove in Argentina. I was trying to think of Kyle here. I didn't have very many birds on my list, so
I challenged myself to do straight birds on this one.
Oh, I like it.
pretty solid.
That's why we invited you. Tyler.
I have Axis Deer Hawaii.
Oh, you
I can pick up a flight for about $1,000.
Whenever you do that one, I'm going.
And that one
care.
I would have to probably search the friend core to see where to go. So
right on. Kyle.
Argentina, doves.
wow, JD, you were right in there.
Yep.
I'm just booking trips left and right.
I also put Argentina, but it's I like doing more than one thing. So I put a cast and blast and blast.
Peacock
And
bass.
blast. So 3 blast, 1 cast.
Okay.
So the guy, I was fortunate, like 2018 or 19. I went
It was
to
19.
Argentina. Just doves. It was awesome. 2.5 days of solid shooting. Was an absolute blast. Loved it. The guys down there were like, hey, if you like shooting ducks, we do that too. And if you come at the right time in July, you could do a stag, you could do ducks and dove and do some fishing. I'm like, that sounds good. I'll do that.
Stag's way up there for me, so that would be rad to do the doves and.
So for the fishing, would it be like peacock bass? That's cool down there, right?
I
Or
didn't
what kind of
get
fishing?
that far into it, but they had options depending on where you go.
Yeah, just say depending where you're at in Argentina. I don't know about.
I thought
Like,
that's
it-
trout.
Maybe that's Brazil that I'm.
The
I think
better-
you're thinking Brazil for peacock
The
bass.
better fishing at that time of year, so it was more inland, but
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
August.
Stand by.
He's got a
I
list
had to
for
change my
August.
list because sheep would be my first choice, but that's 2 pie in the sky, so I did caribou.
I also did caribou. Favorite trip.
You have
Favorite
done-
trip I've
you've
ever done.
caribou though.
I don't care. It was my favorite trip. I've done it twice, technically, and I would do it a 3rd and 4th and 5th time.
I also have DIY caribou on there.
Grouse in the UK. The
Ooh.
glorious 12th.
I like that one. That's cool.
Yeah.
So that one's almost unanimous, except for
I do have
Birdman.
my second one as mid-Asian ibex. I would love to do the trip that you did. I'm not sure if there's other months to do that, but I did put that in there as a
You can
second.
go basically August till like late winter.
late winter. I'm gonna stick with DIY caribou though. So I like
The mid-Asian ibex was fun. I would, because of the DIY element, and I just prefer DIY for myself, I would do DIY, AK caribou. Yeah. September.
This is hard because of the weapon, but elk. I just think of elk in September. I'll find some tag where you can shoot. I guess Kentucky, you can do it with a rifle in September.
that would be cool.
Kentucky.
I have Kodiak mountain goat for that one. Yeah. Close second would be just Wyoming high country mule deer hunting.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Saskatchewan. Ducks, geese, sharp-tailed grouse. Yeah. Do it all.
Birds.
Yep.
Saska birds.
I'm just pretending I only own one gun and it's a shotgun, and that's just how I'm rolling the whole season.
I like that. I actually just put elk/deer for the next several months
It's totally fair. In the fall, it's like
because you can. There's so many options. As a resident in Wyoming, there's some really good places where you can hunt them concurrently. Maybe not both with a rifle, but there's ways that you can. I think some people might not agree with me on the crossbow situation, but if I'm going to go in with a guy, there's some places where you can hunt with a crossbow for elk and rifle hunt for mule deer, and then you could share like that way one
One of you
person can
carry.
carry the rifle and one you can't share a vertical bow very well because it's just so user specific. crossbow. Here you go.
No big deal.
It's good.
There's some people that are cursing right now listening to this.
Hey, I understand that.
Yeah.
I would prefer to shoot a vertical bow. I'm just trying to think
It's
of
legal.
maximum
Totally legal here.
hunting opportunity.
Yeah.
October.
Antelope. October is antelope month for me.
Yeah.
I love antelope.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm going to go Wyoming rifle elk. I want to do one of the early seasons where it's October 1st and maybe they're still bugling. So,
Yeah.
Divers on Lake St. Clair.
Very specific.
Wow.
yeah.
That's very, very specific. Does Claire have an E?
No. CLAIR.
I have antelope, elk, and deer. It's boring, but it's also not at all.
That's not boring at all.
There's people that don't live here. They're like, that's not boring.
Yeah, there's someone
so cool.
There's someone
Well,
in Wisconsin right now saying, "What are you talking about, boring?"
Well, it just kind of looks the same for November, too.
Most months.
I was going to say, there's guys in Oregon with 9 points that they're going,
Yeah.
that doesn't sound boring at all.
November, JD.
Fresh Sitka Blacktail. That's pretty tough tough to beat.
Were you recently doing that?
Yeah, we just got back from there.
That was an incredible trip. Like you can't leave that off the list. I could do that trip every year because of the deer and the ducks.
When Adam asked me about that trip, I think he told you. He said, JD, do you want to go? I said, yes. He said, do you want to think about it? I said, no. He said, do you want to ask your wife? I said, no.
No, I'm going. Yeah.
So I have the Kodiak on there, but since it's just fresh, I went with something different. I'd like to do a South Dakota mule deer hunt. So I think that'd be kind of fun.
Oh, I did Columbia Blacktail for my backup for November.
I had like a third Missouri whitetail for hunting whitetails. That's middle of the rut with a rifle.
Is it
So
like Thanksgiving dates, the rifle?
that's the week before, so it actually ends. So we're doing this right before Thanksgiving. It ends the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. So
The big camera died, but that's okay. We'll keep going. This guy's still running.
still running.
We'll make it work.
Right. You get along the plane.
Yeah. Kyle?
New Jersey for ducks.
Oh, man, I like
Jersey.
that. I like that.
New Jersey has the largest black duck wintering population, and black duck is high on the hit list.
Wow.
So,
That would be cool.
Yep. And you can do sea ducks, you can do divers, you can do everything there. It's the only reason to go to New Jersey,
Ever.
ever.
You go there for the traffic.
No.
November's a magical month because of the rut. So I had a lot of options. I had a hard time narrowing it down because, again, living where we live, like it's pretty good hunting here still. We can chase mule deer. We can chase antelope does all November. You can still chase cow elk. There's a late season bull. I mean, there's a lot of options for big game species here, but I was like, let's not do that. I thought about Nebraska, South Dakota for mule deer, but then I just thought about the FOMO that I just experienced while you guys were in Alaska, and I'm just doing stuff here, and I'm thinking I would really like to be in Alaska doing that hunt, the cast and blast and blast and blast.
Yeah.
Because like I said before, I really like combo hunts.
That is Kyle would love. The sea duck thing is
I'd be all in.
incredible. So
Harlequin, beautiful birds. Yeah, I could do
Everything
that
about
trip every single year for the rest of my life.
I told Adam that. I was like, if I could only do one trip a year, it would be that, 100%.
I had cod for lunch today. That's how fresh Kodiak is.
No, cool. That's so awesome. Thanks for sharing, jerk. Okay. December.
This one was tough. I put whitetail because we used to do it in the late season.
Yeah.
But that's more of a muzzleloader time. I don't know what. I'm sure there's some stuff in the South where you can do rifle later. So
Yeah,
that's what
that's about when it gets good in
Gets going,
Texas
yeah.
and other places. Yeah.
I have two here. So late December, Arkansas mallard in the timber. So recall from what you and Kyle had.
Mm.
But then this new species that I want to chase, emperor goose in Alaska.
Ooh. Yeah, our buddy Nolan up there.
Yeah,
was telling-
Nolan's was talking me up all week about it. So
Nolan's as fanatical about birds as Kyle. Like,
Really?
they could have a geek out.
I didn't think there was a possibility.
100%. Those two would just go nuts.
Obviously, I got to go up there and hang out with this guy
Yeah.
now.
yeah, Nolan's awesome. So I think for the sake that I get to do Arkansas mallards this year, I'm gonna go emperor goose because that'd be awesome.
You can shoot one. Like, you got to
You can
go
only
up
shoot
there
one,
and
yeah.
shoot one. That's it.
He's going to fly for that one goose like he's flying for that one turkey.
Yeah.
I
So
like it. Kyle,
I'll go with that.
Where are you going?
Cali, Sac Valley.
Sacramento
There's
Valley.
a couple votes for California.
Well, it's like I bounce between. It's like, do you do Cali in January and do like right at the tail end of December, Arkansas timber? It's like both of them. It's got to be late for birds to get down there. So
Yeah. December's tough too. There's like a lot of options. I settled on just whitetail. I was gonna like just stay home. It's challenging too because usually, again, in my mind, it starts in September. So by December, like I'm tired.
It's a real thing.
But I've got family in Texas, and you can hunt whitetail down there.
I think each one of you has rubbed something in this that I don't have.
So Texas whitetail is what I went with. Are y'all ready to see the results?
Yes.
all right.
Let's do it. So this is gonna we gotta,
What's the
for the
music
people
here?
that don't watch this on YouTube. You're not going to see the screen, but we'll just kind of talk it out. So, JD, after hearing everybody else's options, do you want to change anything?
Yes, I just don't remember which one. The Arkansas flooded timber, that's always been something I've wanted to do. So somewhere in there, I would just have to substitute. The December time sounds cool because you could do deer down there too then, right?
Yeah.
So if you
think you
did a
can,
deer and a blast and blast situation.
A December one?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler, you got any, you second guessing anything?
No, I put South Dakota mule deer pretty specifically, but that could be South Dakota, Nebraska. Just something hunting
Where
mule
was
deer
your
route would be
mountain
fun.
lion?
In February.
That would be
Yeah.
one that I would definitely put above Aoudad.
Oh, I was thinking about I don't know if we need to like pick a winner because it's just so personal. But there's just so many options.
That's
yeah.
a pretty solid list from everyone there.
I would upgrade my Argentina to the cast and blast ×3
Yeah.
because like
Yeah.
you're already there. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you stay like an extra day. Shooting doves is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
But like, you
You're
just
just
do,
shooting
you
doves.
just you just are shooting doves. We shot a lot of parakeets, like a lot of parakeets.
This stuff too, like I don't feel like international stuff. There's so much to do in North America that it's hard for me to think of. But Stag, New Zealand, and Argentina are like the places to do them. So
Well, and you could
Yeah.
do Australia fallow. You could do
Australia's got the worst snakes and spiders, though. I just wrote that place off. Never going
Yeah,
ever.
just have somebody walk in front of you. It's okay. And then I mean, you could do stag in Scotland, even go like
That would be
traditional
cool.
style. And
That
then
would be cool.
driven game in Germany.
Yeah. So there's a lot of ways to skin this cat. Tyler and I were thinking, like, maybe we just do an international only version, like a
That would be a good one.
domestic only. Maybe we'd do a
The
follow up
off-season
sometime.
stuff to me is
but-
the most appealing, where it's like you just
Yeah.
don't even think
Yeah.
about that there's stuff to go do.
Do you do like a North American version? And then
Yeah, I mean, you can chase different smaller game. You know, there's wild hogs, squirrels. I mean,
Squirrels,
there's
you got
lots
rabbits you can even
rabbits.
do.
Yeah. There's a couple of things that on here that are not on the list that I really want to chase. Some of it's budgetary, so it didn't make it. Like, there's no sheep on any of our lists.
Sheep and moose. Moose are my two big expensive ones that I'm like,
Yeah.
I would love to do. But
Yeah, same. I'm gonna have to win another
another lotto.
lotto for the sheep. So, actually, update, if you listen to the podcast, you've heard us talk about my ibex experience. Just literally yesterday, mid-November, my ibex made it back to the States and is at the taxidermist. They said the cape looked good, and they were cleaning up the horns and are like off to their, like, asked what I wanted. I was like, this doesn't feel real.
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool. So I was pumped for that.
Yeah, I have a little dream hunts list here too. I mean, obviously sheep, mountain goats, and then I did put like king eider on there, common
Yeah.
eiders. I'd love to
Yeah.
go somewhere,
Yeah.
but I don't really know where to start on that.
Alaska.
Well, there's
yeah.
Alaska, but then there's Greenland on king
Sika
eiders.
deer.
That would be
is
cool.
another one that I
Yeah.
want to do. Sika deer in Maryland.
Yeah.
Like that. I just think
You-
that'd be a cool.
I
There's-
almost did that to do a combo sea deer.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would be a like really
Yeah.
cool combo hunt one to do.
Yeah.
And that's not, at least from what I've seen, it's not a crazy expensive hunt to where you can't go do it. It's not like the pie in the sky stuff where you're like, I
Yeah.
got to win the lotto or whatever.
Yeah, really good redhead hunt. I have that on. I've never been on like a really good.
That's ducks, right?
Yeah.
You start
I
to
want a
worry a
redhead.
little bit.
Yeah, talking strictly ducks here. Yeah.
Well, that's
Just,
like
just double check it. Try to keep it PG.
well, that's why I put Lake St. Clair for divers. It's like canvasbacks, redheads, like that's all like the stuff you want to. It's like it's either you're doing that or going out to the Columbia River, chase them on there. So
I think of when I was listening to all of you guys talking about the different things you wanted to do, the thing that hit me the most is like, why didn't I think of that was New Zealand? Because I really do want to do that. And for some reason, that didn't cross my mind.
New Zealand is like it for me. The DIY, like,
I want to go to Mordor.
Yeah.
All right. So any parting thoughts, JD?
I think we could do this 20 times with North America, international, small game. Like you could
Hemisphere.
You could do this list over and over, and the one that's just like unlimited budget, anything you want. That's a totally different.
Oh,
one,
that
so
would be a fun game.
that one would be.
That's one I think
Yeah.
Tyler's good at this game, like long road trips. He's like, but he always gives you the ultimatum. Like,
Yeah.
you won the lottery, and it was $1 billion lottery, but it means you don't have legs anymore. And you're like,
Some of my best ones are like, okay, you can kill a moose, but then you can't kill these 3 whitetails. And they'll be like, okay, I'll take the moose. I'll be like, but what if the whitetails were 3 booners?
yeah,
So
That's pretty
they're
good.
It
all
changes every
200
time.
inches. Yeah.
It's a fun game.
it's fun.
Tyler, final thoughts?
Man, some of these are super doable. You just got to start checking them off the list. I think that's my takeaway, especially after the Kodiak hunt. It's really inspired me to be like, man, some of these you just got to go for it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle?
I could see this list changing for everybody 3 years from now.
100%.
So
Well, yeah. I mean, and the thing that we kind of talked about at the beginning is like it's not feasible for us as working peoples to pull this off every year or in a single year. I mean,
Or
that's-
ever
that's-
once in a year. Because
no, I was gonna say the wife's not gonna let that happen.
it would actually be easier for me if I did it once, because then I wouldn't have a family anymore. So then after that, yearly, I could just go on it anytime I wanted.
But you start chipping away at this stuff, and as life happens and travel comes, and you're like, you know what, I could maybe piggyback that on that and stay a day longer in Hawaii. That was the other one. I didn't think about Hawaii, but yeah, I think if you can start chipping away at it. But I think one of the couple things I've learned in the last 5 or 6 years, trying to start chipping away at my list and making a decent dent in it, is play the raffles.
Yeah.
I've had decent luck in the raffles, both like equipment and hunts.
Cut this part out, Luke. So we don't want people putting in for the
Yeah,
raffles.
don't do raffles.
No, support.
It's a waste of money.
Support our conservation.
Just donate your
partners.
money outside of the raffles. Don't put it in the raffles.
Support our conservation partners. Mule
Lifetime
Deer
membership.
Foundation.
That's how you should do it.
Rocky Mountain Elk. DU. DU is a great way to actually. There's some deals on Argentine dove hunts at DU banquets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sheldon's going next year. He wanted at the mule deer thing here.
I was sitting next to him when he bought it, and he's like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "It's a pretty good deal. Like you can bring some buddies and like have them give you a little money, and you're in it for less than if you just went and bought it."
Yeah.
He's like, raises his hand, and then his wife was like, "I'm gonna buy it." She went. I think
They're
Caroline
going.
actually.
He was
did it.
talking about this Kodiak trip we just did, and I was like, "Dude, you got to do it. You'll love it." And he was like, "I can't do it next year. I'm going to
Yeah,
Argentina."
yeah. But I've got a buddy that just put in for like, at Sheep Show. There's just all the different tables, like different groups have different raffles going on. 2 weeks after the show, he's like, "Hey, you want an African hunt? South Africa, 8 species, split amongst 4 people. 4 like lodging for 4 people. You can figure out who shoots what." He's like, "I put like a $25." Like, I think that's the way.
I love that
For
when
me,
guys
that's
like
how
that
some
when
of this stuff's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I don't mind sharing some of those odds. It's gonna work out the way it's gonna work out, and at the end, through conservation, the animals win.
That's right.
Yep.
So that I guess that's I didn't see that being the message in the end, but support your conservation partners.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
The end.
Yeah.
Thanks though for listening, and happy Thanksgiving. This isn't going to come out before Thanksgiving. For us, we're recording it before
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
it probably will be mid to late December, so it kind of kicks off the new year.
So
like
happy
what we did here.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
When this comes out, shoot us an email what you would do send us your list.
I'd like to
That'd
see
be
that.
cool.
Could we do it where they? Yeah.
Yeah, they just do a January, February, just list it out and send us an email. What's the email,
man.
Luke?
Okay, let's commit to this. On our mark, on our mark at weatherby.com.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna pick a couple, and then when we redo this with like the next version, we'll put some of the write-ins up there and see if we would pick one of those hunts.
I like it.
I think that'll be really cool.
Let's go.